Far away from his home, Joseph lived in the land of Egypt. For a time, he worked hard in Potiphar's house and was trusted to take care of everything. But one day, something very unfair happened. Joseph was blamed for something he didn't do. Potiphar believed the wrong story and sent Joseph to jail. High above the jail, Simon the sparrow fluttered quietly in the warm breeze. "Oh no," Simon whispered, watching Joseph walk inside. Perched on a nearby branch, Obed the owl blinked his big wise eyes. "Joseph didn't do anything wrong," Obed said gently, "but even here, God is still with him." Inside the jail, it was dark and quiet, but Joseph didn't feel alone. He prayed to God every day. "Lord," Joseph whispered, "I trust you, even here." Days passed, then weeks, then months. Joseph helped wherever he could, sweeping the floors and bringing water. The man in charge of the jail liked Joseph because he was kind and worked hard. Before long, Joseph was trusted to help take care of the other prisoners. One day, 2 new men came to stay in the jail. They had worked for the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. One had been the king's cupbearer, the man who brought Pharaoh his drink. The other had been the king's baker, who made his bread. Joseph greeted them kindly. "Peace be with you," he said, as he shared water and bread. Simon flew down to watch quietly. "Joseph is always kind," he chirped softly. Obed nodded. "Even in hard times, he does what is right." One morning, Joseph saw the 2 men looking very worried. "You both look troubled," Joseph said gently. "What's wrong?" "We had dreams last night," they told him, "but we don't understand what they mean." Joseph smiled kindly. "God can help us understand dreams," he said. "Tell me your dreams." First, the cupbearer spoke. "In my dream," he said, "I saw a grapevine with 3 branches. Grapes grew quickly, and I squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup and gave it to him." Joseph listened carefully. Then he said, "God is showing you something good. In 3 days, Pharaoh will forgive you and give you back your job." The cupbearer smiled brightly. "Oh, thank you," he said. Joseph nodded. "And when you are free, please remember me." Then the baker shared his dream. "I had 3 baskets of bread on my head," he said, "but the birds came and ate the bread." Joseph listened, then spoke gently. "Your dream is harder. In 3 days, Pharaoh will decide not to forgive you." The baker nodded quietly, understanding. And just as God showed Joseph, everything happened the way he said it would. But the cupbearer forgot about Joseph after he left the jail. Still, Joseph prayed each day. "I will trust you, God," Joseph whispered. And high above, Simon and Obed watched, knowing that God still had big plans for Joseph. The end. Joseph had been waiting in jail for a long time, but he never stopped trusting God. Every day he prayed quietly, "God, I know you are with me." High above, Simon the sparrow watched from the window ledge. "Joseph is so patient," Simon chirped. In the tree nearby, Obed the owl nodded. "Good things come to those who trust God," Obed said wisely. One bright morning, there was a sudden noise outside the jail. The king of Egypt, Pharaoh, had heard something amazing about Joseph. The cupbearer, who once promised to remember Joseph, had finally spoken about him. "There's a man in the jail," the cupbearer told Pharaoh. He can understand dreams because God helps him. Pharaoh had been having strange dreams, dreams that no one could explain. "Bring Joseph to me at once," Pharaoh said. Joseph was brought out of the jail. He washed and put on clean clothes. His heart was full of hope, and he whispered a prayer. "God, help me to be brave." Simon fluttered nearby. "This is his moment," Simon chirped softly. Obed smiled. "God has big plans," he said. When Joseph stood before Pharaoh, he bowed respectfully. "I hear you can understand dreams," Pharaoh said. Joseph shook his head gently. "I can't," he said, "but God can. He gives me the answers." Pharaoh told Joseph his dreams. "In one dream," Pharaoh said, "I saw 7 fat cows eating grass. Then 7 skinny cows came and ate the fat cows. In another dream, I saw 7 healthy heads of grain, but then 7 thin, dried ones swallowed them up." Joseph listened carefully. Then God helped him understand. "God is showing you what will happen," Joseph explained. "There will be 7 years of plenty when Egypt will grow lots of food. But after that, there will be 7 years of hunger when no food will grow." Pharaoh's eyes grew wide. "What should we do?" he asked. Joseph smiled kindly. "During the good years, save extra food. That way, when the bad years come, there will be enough for everyone." Pharaoh was amazed. "Joseph, you're wise because God is with you," Pharaoh said. Then he made Joseph very important, second only to Pharaoh himself. "You will be in charge of gathering and saving the food," Pharaoh said. Joseph was given fine clothes, a ring for his hand, and he rode in a chariot like a prince. Simon chirped happily from the palace rooftop. "Joseph has gone from jail to a palace," Obed hooted softly. "Because he trusted God," he said. Joseph worked hard. He gathered grain and filled storehouses all across Egypt. When the years of hunger came, Joseph opened the storehouses so the people had food to eat. And every day, Joseph thanked God. "You helped me, God," Joseph whispered. And Simon and Obed watched, knowing God's plan was coming true. The end. The famine had spread far and wide. There was very little food anywhere, but in Egypt there was plenty to eat. That was because Joseph, with God's help, had saved food during the good years. People from all over came to Egypt to buy food, including Joseph's family. Flying above the busy grain storehouses was Simon the sparrow, who remembered Joseph's family from long ago. "I wonder if they'll see him again," Simon chirped. Perched on a nearby roof, Obed the owl nodded wisely. "God always brings things together in his time," Obed said. One day, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt. They had traveled a long way, hoping to buy food. When they arrived, they stood in line before the governor of Egypt. They didn't know the governor was Joseph. Joseph recognized them right away. "Those are my brothers," he thought. But they didn't recognize him. Joseph wore fine clothes and spoke like an Egyptian ruler. Joseph's heart was full of feelings. "These are the brothers who sold me," he thought. But he also remembered how much he had missed them. He wanted to know if their hearts had changed. Joseph tested them kindly to see if they had become honest and good. In time, he saw that they cared for one another and were sorry for what they had done long ago. At last, Joseph couldn't wait any longer. He sent everyone else out of the room, and then he said to his brothers, "It's me. "Joseph, your brother." The brothers were surprised and afraid. "You are alive?" they asked in shock. "Yes," Joseph said, "and God has made me strong here in Egypt." The brothers hung their heads. "We did wrong," they said. "We hurt you." Joseph smiled kindly, with tears in his eyes. "Don't be afraid," he said softly. "You meant to harm me, but God used it for good. He sent me here to save many lives." Simon fluttered above the room. "He forgave them," Simon chirped with joy. Obed blinked slowly. "Because Joseph trusted God's plan," he said. Joseph hugged each of his brothers. Then he said, "Go home and bring our father back here. There is plenty of food for everyone." Soon, Joseph's whole family came to live in Egypt. His father, Jacob, was overjoyed to see his son again. "I thought you were lost, but God has given you back to me," Jacob said, with tears of joy. Joseph cared for his family with love and kindness. And every day, he thanked God for turning a hard story into a happy ending. At night, under the starry sky, Joseph looked up and remembered his dreams. "They came true," he whispered, "and God was with me all along." Simon and Obed perched nearby, knowing that Joseph's story was one of faith, forgiveness, and love. The end.